Hello, I'm jashykins, and welcome to my review of the Supernatural episode As Time Goes By. Now, this is really the first episode this season that I just loved, that I just had no doubt. There was nothing lingering in the back of my mind, like, why is this or why is that? No really major complaints, so I just flat out loved this episode. I loved this episode. The only really minor complaint I have is that there's nothing between Sam and Dean's really been resolved at all. It's like, we're not talking about it, and we're not talking about it, and it's minor because the end result is that they're acting like themselves again. It's brother and brother, they're two brothers fighting against the world. Like, it's like they're finally back together again, and that's really great, but it doesn't make sense in a larger context. But I didn't really give a fuck this episode because all season, Dean and Sam have just been driving each other away. That was really great to just see them together again. Because, as I said last episode, I love Sam, but I just hated how his character was being written this season. So it was like, yes, everything's back to normal. It's just, and plus it's a very simplistic story, too, sort of. It starts out with Henry Winchester, Sam and Dean's grandfather on their father's side, ending up traveling. Henry ends up traveling through time because he's trying to protect the box from a really badass demon. And yeah. And so when he traveled through time, he was actually just intending to travel to his son because the spell he used would take him to who he was looking for, a blood relative or someone related to them. So they got Sam and Dean. And this episode, besides being a simplistic story, it actually does add up onto the mythos of Supernatural, plus it also has some things for later down the road. Such as, I read on Buddy TV, I believe it was, an interview they had with someone, and it was basically saying that the key to this key to this place will become a home base for Sam and Dean, so there we go, it's, a home base. And Henry Winchester was meshed well with, the brothers because Henry is part of this group, the Men of Letters, that now doesn't exist because their last member died. And he's very more scholarly. He's, Men of Letters. It already sounds like this fucking literature club. And it seems like these Men of Letters and the Hunters know about each other, I guess, sort of, or at least the Men of Letters do, and they don't like the Hunters because they find the Hunters to be too brute, ape-like. And so, throughout this episode, Henry was adapting to realizing his grandchildren were, hunters, and that he came around to the hunter's side of things. So that was good. And it seems like, I don't really know if it was mentioned before because I'm a little late getting to Supernatural Party, mind you. I've seen a good majority of the episodes, and I've familiarized myself with what's happened. But I never, knew about John Winchester's father. But so if anyone wants to tell me about something I missed about, John Winchester's father, Henry, be mentioned before or hinted at? Comment below. And it turns out that John didn't like his father because he thought that his father left him and abandoned him. It turns out Henry had been sent through time and died. So, of course, he couldn't, traveling back after you're dead doesn't really work. So I guess John never knew about the men of letters. So I guess they might have been secret even to hunters. And it seems, the men of letters were a very secret society about collecting knowledge. And the box that Henry had, which, they ended up being given to Sam and Dean, has this place full of knowledge. Oh yeah, I don't think I've talked about the demon yet. Abandon. I fucking forget how to pronounce it. Abaddon. Well, anyway, she's the badass who's the villain of this episode. And she's trying to get the box so she can get knowledge. And it seemed that one of Henry's old pals said that she was just a hired gun. So, I don't know if that means anything other than Lucifer sent her. Don't know about that, but she was badass, and I hope we get to see her again. Now, I know some of you are like, but she died. We never saw her death. We just saw her by getting killed, and basically destroyed. She was decapitated. We heard what Dean is going to do to her, and 100% sure that he follows up through it. But we never actually, we don't actually see her die. It doesn't seem like she's going to die, just be imprisoned. So that always leaves it open for someone to bring her back. So, yeah. I know, she's just one of these villains that you sort of love to see on screen. But I don't think any villain on this show, at least for me, can measure up to Crowley's. He's bad, he's a jerk, he's not to be trusted, but I love seeing him on the show. I think Abaddon seems like she could also be used to good effect too. But whether or not we see her back is up in the air. And of course, whenever you have these time-traveling stories or, and someone's not when they're supposed to be, it always leads to some confusion. And luckily, like Continuum, at least for the first 3 episodes, it doesn't get too out of hand. It doesn't get too annoying. Nothing really stupid goes on. I know this will be the last point I brought up because it's really minor, but it sort of made me cringe and fearful for Henry's life. Henry escapes the motel room because Sam and Dean, being the good hunters they are, like, some shit comes out of their closet. He's answering questions. We're going to assume he's dangerous until otherwise noted. And so Sam and Dean try to handcuff Henry, and Henry gets away. And so he's looking for some car to, escape in. And lo and behold, he runs to the Impala, smashes one of the front windows, and I'm like, well, you just hurt Dean's baby, Him and Cass are bed buddies, but, That's nothing in comparison with Dean and then Paula. What the fuck were you thinking? And so when Dean, comes up, I'm like, oh, this should be a short episode now. But of course, Dean doesn't kill Henry. Oh, I said one more thing, but I'm just going to add this one because there were angel feathers in Dean's trunk. Now, some people are saying, like, well, it didn't really have to be real angel feathers, but, now off of angels, but they could be some plant or something. I'm just thinking, no. Dean is banging Cass, and he got the feathers from there. That is the only fucking logical explanation, unless you want to make this convoluted theory that, oh, it's not real angel feathers, it's like something. I'm Destiel shipper, so it's just so fucking brutal. Why the fuck would he have angel feathers there otherwise? And Cass is really the one angel they have the most contact with, so it's most likely his feathers. So, long story short, the Supernatural episode, as time goes by, best episode this season. I love it. It's just awesome. It's just, throughout this whole season, as time has gone by, I just have been losing more and more faith in the writers because they've been doing shit wrong. I mean, the biggest one of that is Sam's character. Sam's character just seems to be dragged through the fucking dirt, becoming an asshole even when the show's supposed to make you think he's a good character. Yeah, but this episode, as time goes by, was just a breath of fresh air. And if, the next episode goes back into how Season 8 has been doing before now, it won't surprise me, but I'm just glad we get this breath of fresh air. So, I have been Jashykins, owner at jashykins.blogspot.com. If you want to contact me for whatever reason, say, let's talk about Supernatural and where do you think this whole Winchester legacy and Men of Letters things will go to. You can contact me on Facebook at facebook.com/jashykins fanpage or on Twitter at jashykins. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, share, blah, 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 blah. And if you're on my blog, sorry, something just popped up there. If you're viewing this on my blog, thank you just for watching. Comment below and share amongst friends, families, lovers, dogs, cats, birds, whatever. I really want to expand my audience. And thank you for just, bringing back Demon Sam as brothers. And until next video, goodbye.